If your Minecraft mod pack keeps crashing, won't load, or runs at 5 FPS, don't panic. In this video, I'm going to show you troubleshooting methods that fix all of those issues and go over other common mistakes people make when building packs. Timestamps are down below if you want to skip around. Let's get straight into it. So, you just finished building your mod pack. You hit play and it crashes. What do you do? First thing I would do is check if the mod gave you a crash report. If it did, read it through, see if anything stands out about what's causing it to crash on startup. Usually it'll tell you there's a missing dependency or something very easy you can fix. But if you don't get a crash report, it's likely due to incompatible mods, config issues, or mods that aren't built for the version you're running on. So, how do you actually figure out what mod is causing these crashes or what's causing the problem? What I recommend is called the isolation method. It's simple, and I guarantee it fixes about 90% of your mod pack issues. Here's what you're going to want to do. Create a fresh mod pack profile. Open your mods folder and drag mods into that new profile in groups of about 5 to 10. Then hit play each time. If the mod pack loads with those 5 to 10 mods in, then those mods are safe. Keep going and adding mods until it crashes. Once the mod pack crashes, then you can test one by one in that little group that you added to figure out what mod exactly is causing the problem. And once you find it, just remove it, take it out of your pack, you don't need it anymore. From there, your mod pack should load as normal. This is also just a great habit in general when you're building a pack from scratch. Just test mods in groups so you don't have to deal with this later. Now, if all the mods seem to be loading fine, but the pack is still crashing, the next thing I would do is go check your configs folder. Configs are a great way to customize values for your mod pack, but one misplaced space or comma can just break everything. So go back through anything that you've edited and double check that it's all correct. And if you're not sure what you changed or where it went wrong, you can always just delete the configs folder entirely and Minecraft will regenerate a new one on the next launch. Now, if you've gone through all that and your mod pack still won't launch, the issue might not even be your mods or your configs, it could just be your Java version. Different versions of Minecraft require different versions of Java. And if you don't have the right version that matches your game, it just will not run. So my general rule is if you're on versions 1.18 or newer, you want Java 17. If you're on older versions of Minecraft like 1.16, you're going to need Java 8. So just go ahead and double check that your Java is just up to date in general. The link to download Java is in the description, and when you click that, it'll also prompt you to update your Java if it's not up to date. Just hit the update, it literally takes like 10 seconds and you'll be good to go. Okay, so your mod pack is actually loading now, but you're in game and it's crashing, lagging, or your frames feel terrible, or your chunks are just loading super slow. Here's how you fix all that. The first thing you want to look at is your RAM allocation, because this is the root of more performance problems than anything else. Most mod packs need anywhere from 6 to 8 gigabytes to run smoothly. If your launcher is only giving you 2 to 4, it's just going to struggle. But here's something a lot of people don't actually know. Giving too much RAM can actually cause problems too. Over allocating leads to stuttering on how Java handles garbage collection. So don't just crank it to the max, find the sweet spot in between 6 to 8 gigs and you'll notice an immediate difference. Once your RAM is sorted, the next thing you're going to want to look at is the type of performance mod you have installed. The ones I recommend are sodium for rendering, lithium for game logic, and ferritecore for memory usage. If you're on Forge instead of Fabric, swap sodium for rubidium or embeddium. Now, this next part is important. Don't just stack every performance mod you can find thinking more is better. A lot of people actually do this and it actually makes things worse. Some performance mods do the exact same job, and having both mods installed will have conflicts or even crashes. For example, sodium and embeddium both handle rendering. You do not want both of those in your mods folder at the same time. If two mods are optimizing the same thing, pick one and remove the other. Performance mods should work together, not against each other. Alright, so you fixed your performance. Now the issue is your chunks loading super slow. First thing I want you to try and do is lower your simulation distance. Simulation distance controls how much of the world around you is actively being calculated. Things like AI, redstone, and entity spawning. Dropping this down gives you an immediate performance boost, especially in heavily modded packs. After doing that, the next thing I want you to try is just adding the chunky mod. And I know it sounds kind of funny, but what chunky does is it pre-generates chunks around your world before you even play in them. So instead of your game scrambling to generate new chunks while you're exploring them, they've already been pre-generated and are just waiting for you to walk into them. This is especially useful when you're running a server, since right before your players join, you can just have chunky pre-generate an area for you, and it'll feel significantly smoother. Now let's say you did all of that and your game is still crashing and things just are not making sense. This is where Spark Profiler comes in. Spark Profiler is a mod that gives you a live readout of everything that is eating up your performance under the hood. And more often than not, in heavily modded packs, the culprit is ticking entities. Ticking entities are mobs that go past a 20 tick limit set by Minecraft, and therefore they cause the game to crash, lag, or stutter. Although it's difficult to figure out exactly which mob is ticking unless there's a crash report, that's why I'm going to recommend you install a mod called neruina ticking entity fixer. What this mod does is it catches a ticking entity crash, and they take out the ticking entity before it crashes your whole game. So instead of the game crashing every time a broken entity ticks, neruina intercepts it and kills the problematic entity, keeping the game running. So rather than getting booted onto the title screen and having to dig through a crash log, the game just handles it automatically and moves on. This is an especially valuable mod because ticking entity issues are almost inevitable the more mods you add. So overall, after all of this stuff, this should ideally be able to fix your pack and things should be able to run smoothly. Now, if things still aren't working out, then it's likely you just have a ton of mods, and that's just the downside of modded Minecraft. Sometimes if the game is just a little laggy, you just kind of have to deal with it. All these solutions that I gave you should hopefully make it playable, but if it's not, you probably just have a little too much going on, or your computer just cannot handle it. But if none of this is making sense to you what I'm saying, I also have a Discord server down below where you can come and ask me your questions and I will try and help you out one-on-one, or just talk to any other community members who might be experiencing the same problem and have found a solution. Alright, so now let's go over how to actually read a crash report and like what to do with that information. Well, first you want to obviously open your folders and then locate your crash reports folder and then just click on the latest one, or the game will prompt you to click on it as soon as the game crashes. So this is your Minecraft crash report. It's got all the information that you need to try and solve the mystery of what crashed your game. So the first thing you want to look at is the description. It says mod loading failures have occurred. Consult the issue message for more details. The issue message is going to be right under that, and it's going to be that mod loading has failed. That's very useful information. Thank you for telling me. I would have never guessed. What exactly happened? What failed? That's what you're going to find in the second part of the crash report, which is going to be under all this text. And you're going to come down to this part where it says mod loading issue, or it's going to say something along the lines of missing dependency or something like that. In this case, there is a mod loading issue for Moonlight. Moonlight is a mod that I have in my mod pack. It says the failure message, Moonlight mod requires neoforge 21.1 to 20 or above. And it says currently neoforge is at 21.1 to 19. Easy fix for this is just going to be update the neoforge version to the correct version for Moonlight to load. Now, there's obviously a second issue right here. It says mod loading issue for shoulder surfing. It says failure message, mod shoulder surfing is incompatible with better third person of any version. And it says currently better third person is a 1.9.0. So basically this is just saying shoulder surfing and better third person will not work together. So you're going to have to pick one or the other. In this case, I'm just going to decide to stick with better third person and just delete shoulder surfing from my pack, and that will fix the problem. Now, if yours is not as simple to understand as this, you can always just take this description and just put it into Google, and most people have already ran into your issue and have a solution for it. So either on GitHub or Reddit, there will be a solution to your problem. Or if yours is completely unique, you can always submit the crash report to an AI like Claude AI, which should be able to help simplify and solve the problem that you're dealing with. And if you don't want to ask AI, you can always just ask me. Discord server plug. Once again, it's down below in the description. Let's move on to the next thing. Now let's talk about some general tips and other common mistakes people make when building mod packs. The first common mistake I want to talk about is adding too many mods at once. It's tempting to just throw everything in and see what happens, but when something breaks, you have no idea where to start. Add mods in batches, test as you go. Next is mixing Forge and Fabric. These two are completely separate mod loaders and they are not compatible with each other. Installing a Fabric mod into a Forge instance or vice versa will crash it immediately. Always double check which mod loader a mod is built for before adding it to your pack. Another one that catches a lot of people is ignoring dependencies. If you install a mod without its required dependencies, the game won't even launch. Most mod pages list their dependencies clearly, so just take a few seconds and check before adding anything. Now, one other tip specifically for anyone building a multiplayer mod pack, pay attention to whether mods are client-side or server-side. Client-side mods only need to be installed on the player's game, things like performance, HUD, or visual improvements. Server-side mods require the mods to be on the server for the server to run itself. If you install a client-only mod on a server or vice versa, it can cause players kicked on joining or crash entirely. Always check the mods page to see whether a mod is client-side or server-side or required for both. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is when to update and when to downgrade mods. A lot of people assume that the latest version of a mod is always the safest, but it's sometimes a recent update introduces a new bug or breaks compatibility with something else in your pack. If your mod pack was running fine and then suddenly starts crashing after you update a mod, that update most certainly is the problem. So just go back into CurseForge or Modrith and find the version and roll it back. 9 times out of 10, that will fix it immediately. That's everything I've got for this mod pack troubleshooting guide. And if you're still stuck on what to do after all of this, my Discord link is in the description. feel free to join up and I'll try and help you out myself. Anyways, drop a like if you guys did enjoy or this video helped you. Subscribe for more modded Minecraft content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.